Anyone who has watched the reality show Mountain Men has been captivated by the mysterious Tom, or Tom Orr, is a famous mountain man who is known for his tough lifestyle and amazing survival skills. Tom Orr is a legendary mountain man whose determination, creativity, and fearlessness have inspired many people. Now is your chance to dive headfirst into his fascinating world, but buckle up and get ready to experience heartbreaking tragedy in the captivating world of Tom, or the famous mountain man who has inspired many with his strength, resourcefulness, and unwavering spirit of adventure. Tom grew up in the country outside of Rockford, Illinois, and says he was ready for a tough life. He and his older brother had an innate love for the outdoors, and they spent their childhood playing outside as much as possible. Tom was born in 1943 in Illinois, USA. His father, Czech, was in the movie Wild West. In the United States between 1870 and 1920, Tom Orr immersed himself in modern life and moved to Montana's Yak Valley with his wife, Nancy. Before settling in the Montana mountains, Tom camped out with several friends in Troy and Montana while competing in rodeo as a combo rider. He started riding combinations in his 20S and did so for a few years before having to retire due to health problems. Rudder then took his wife to one of Montana's most remote areas, basically the woods, where they built a cabin and made a home. They are about 80 kilometers from the nearest grocery store, but they don't need food right away because they hunt, gather, and cook their own food every day. Tom and his wife Nancy make shoes and clothes from tanned deerskin like moccasins, coats, shirts, and pants. They sell their homemade goods whenever they are in town, and they get a lot of orders for things they rarely can fulfill, even though Tom isn't trained as a tanner. He started working as a rodeo cowboy when he was almost in his 20s. Years have passed since he started comboing, but he quit the job because of his health. After his time on the rodeo circuit, he started working as a tanner without first getting the training or education he needed. He then moved to a remote part of Montana with his wife and started working as a cowboy there. They left the busy life of the modern world and started a new life in the woods where they could enjoy peace and quiet. Tanned deer hides were used to make clothes like moccasins, jackets, shirts, pants, and shoes, which Tom and his wife started making. The clothes are sold in the city, and they've also gotten a lot of requests for them. After living in the mountains for 30 years, the producers of the show, Mountain Men, saw him and gave him the chance to be on the show. From his successful career as a rodeo cowboy to his current job as a TV personality, Tom has made a net worth of about $400,000. His rodeo career included 8 appearances at the International Finals Rodeo, but he had to take a break because of health problems, which led him to become a self-taught tanner. During his rodeo career, which included 8 appearances at the championship event, Tom made tanned deerskins into coats, moccasins, blouses, and other clothes. Tom's big break came when he appeared in the popular History Channel show Mountain Men, where he looked like other cast members. In 2022, he captivated viewers again with his performance in the TV show Into the Wild Frontier. Fans from all over the world are still inspired by Tom Orr's wide-ranging and fascinating journey, which shows a life full of experiences, persistence, and the spirit of adventure. Tom Orr was married to Janice Frazier before they split up. Tom's first marriage gave him 2 children, and he lived in a house in the Yak River Valley. He was married to Nancy and had Kelly and Chad. Kelly's death in 2015 was a terrible tragedy for the family, and it was especially hard for Tom to deal with his grief while being in the public eye. Chad. As the story of Tom's life on Mountain Men came to a close, there were moments that were both heartbreaking and inspiring. Chad, Tom's son, has made a name for himself in Florida by opening a horse training center with his wife Kim Burnett. This move not only shows how talented and interested everyone in the family is, but it also marks a departure from the rough wilderness and toward Ocala, which is known as the horse capital of the world. They were celebrating Tom's big day. It was a moment that showed how important he is to the show and how reluctant he is to leave a life that has given him fame and a deep sense of fulfillment. However, his absence from later episodes led to rumors about his future on the show. This uncertainty, along with the family's individual struggles, shows how complicated life is. He's one of the many characters Tom has met in this show. Rodeoed for 25 years and with bulls for 18 years. This was half of his life. When he moved to Montana, he started brain tanning, a hard work that uses animal brains to tan skins. When talking about his way of life, Tom Orr said that he knows it's not for everyone and that he thinks he was born 150 to 200 years older than he really is. He also talked about how he has always been, Tom's older brother Jack, has only appeared on Mountain Men a few times, and when he does, it's clear that he's much more camera shy than his brother. Other than that, not much is known about him. One of the ideas behind the show is that the people on it live in a pretty isolated life, living a very private life and not interacting with others much. When the cameras aren't rolling makes it natural that Jack would be seen as a bit of a mystery. Jack has quickly become popular with viewers and has now been in more than 20 episodes of the show. Even though he isn't even close to being as normal as Tom, some fans really admire his personality, while others think that both Jack and Tom have the ability to change people's minds. The Orr brothers may not like being in the spotlight, they still have a lot of fans, and it turns out that a lot of those fans want to buy some of the things that Tom and Jack make. Luckily, Tom, Jack, and Tom's wife all sell their goods through a Willow Bend trading post, which has a Facebook page where they post many of the things that they have for sale. People who are big fans of Tom and Jack often buy these items, which usually include handcrafted knives and sheaths. The items seem to sell pretty quickly after they are posted on the website. Fans often buy these items because they know from watching the show that the quality of the items they buy will be pretty good. For more information on what Tom, Jack, and the rest of the cast are up to, check out their Facebook page. Most people can only dream of living a life like Tom's. Time, on the other hand, is something that even the most immortal souls have to face. Tom seems to have a deep understanding of how the seasons change and how important it is to adapt to new situations as he thinks about retirement and the future. Since giving up a successful rodeo career to live in nature, Tom has been on many exciting adventures. He shows his deep desire for a simpler, more connected way of life by admitting that he was born 150 to 200 years too late. It's becoming less and less practical for them to keep living the way they do now because they are older and health issues are becoming more important. Tom shows a man with a mix of stoicism and humor in his reflections about finding himself stretched out lifeless over the fleshing block. Realizing their own mortality and the limits of endurance is a sober assessment of their situation, not a sign that they are giving up on the idea of moving to Florida to live in a better life. A calm environment close to nature is a balance between giving up their freedom and lowering their ability to survive the passing of time. Tom, on the other hand, has a very different view of retirement. He sees it not as a time to give up, but as a chance to embrace the changes that are bound to happen in life. This shows how strong he and Nancy are and how they will handle whatever the future brings.